Hey everybody, so today I want to talk about lust and some other things, intimacy, our want for it or need for it. Because last week I felt a little bit out of routine and I indulged in some stimulation. I fell out of my habits, the habits which I like to maintain, And so I want to talk about that, why that happened. I want to talk about hookups. I want to talk about our need for intimacy. Because right now hookup culture is obviously very big in our society, and a lot of people are engaging in it. And though I very much dislike this culture, I can understand where they're coming from. Because on the one sense, we have this pleasure available to us. There's this technology where we can use dating apps to meet up with strangers really quickly and hook up. So why not take advantage of that? On the other hand, there are many people who are lonely in this day and age, and so they're seeking intimacy wherever they can get it, whether that be pornography or in hookups. So I can see where they're coming from, and this is what I struggled with last week as well. So I don't engage in hookup culture. I really dislike it because I think it's very dishonorable, and I think it's not good for you mentally, and I don't think it's good for society either. And but I still struggle with it because I sometimes use dating apps because I'd like to find a partner at some point, a girlfriend, and obviously it increases your chances. But I'm not fond of dating apps in any shape or form, because for me it doesn't really make me happy, and it doesn't. I just don't like. The concept is just dumb, but it does increase your chances of meeting someone. So that's why I still give it a chance. But sometimes you come across these individuals which are only looking for hookups, and it saddens me, because when I see these people, I think like, oh, these look like a nice person, and then you see that, and then you're like, okay, I pity them in a way, because they don't know any better. They think it will make them happy, or the pleasure they receive from it will transfer to some fulfillment or something. I don't know. They prioritize the pleasure, or, as I said before, maybe they're just looking for intimacy, which I can understand to some point, and that's what I struggle sometimes as well. Sometimes see these people and I'm like, or I match with someone and I find out that they're only looking for that, and then I'm like, I say no, of course, and I maintain my integrity, my discipline to not do something like that, because I never want to do something like that. But it's still like, there is a temptation there, of course. And for me, it's not so much the pleasure as it is an escape from loneliness or intimacy, not an escape from intimacy, but intimacy, getting intimacy through a hookup. And it's difficult, because last week I was struggling with this, and right now it's funny, because for me, I can it swaps so quickly. My mood and my well-being, mental well-being, can alter like night and day within a few days. So last week I was really struggling with this, and now I'm incredibly happy again, and that happens a lot. Like once in 2 months or something, I fall out of my habits. I fall into indulgence and a bad mindset, a weak mental state, a unhappy mental state. But then I get back to it, and I have this resolve to. I know one thing I like about having studied philosophy just in my free time, and loving Stoicism, Christianity. I find a great religion. There are many wisdom philosophies, books to follow and to read, through which you can internalize good habits, good philosophies, and determination. And I'm so glad that I did that these past years, because I know that whenever I will fall into bad habits, or out of my routine, or into a weak mental state, I will always come back and live the good life, so to speak, of fulfillment and delayed gratification, which is what I'm doing right now again. I'm very happy again, and this is again reaffirmation that this is the life I want to live, because this is what makes me happiest, and I think that it makes most people happiest, to not live in instant gratification and that stimulation. But still, I can understand that it's difficult, because sometimes I fall into that as well. Lack of intimacy, loneliness, a want for intimacy, a want for connection. But the key to avoiding it or to be happy is, I think it consists of two things. and that's also what the title is about. It's work, the work you do, your daily task, your daily duty, the grind, so to speak, and your attitude, your gratefulness for the world, for what you have. Because if you're only focused on what you don't have, let's say a lack of intimacy, a lack of connections, then you're going to be focused on that, on your troubles. It's the old saying, focus on your blessings, not your troubles. And that will make you unhappy, of course. But if you focus on what you have, your health maybe, if you have it, I will speak for myself because everyone's in a different situation, but I'm happy for my health. I'm happy that I can enjoy a free country. I'm not in war, I'm not at war, I'm not sick. I can enjoy nature, I can walk, I can run, I can speak, I can learn. I have a passion which I like to pursue, so I'm grateful for a lot of things. And this is probably the most important thing, but for me, if I don't grind, if I am not pursuing my daily task or daily fulfilling things, my hobbies, if say my hobbies were incredibly stimulating things like they were last week, I was indulging in some video games, which I don't mind video games sometimes, but for me, when it comes to certain video games, they give me too much stimulation and they don't make me happier long term. And so right now I'm engaging a lot more in books and films, and they do make me happier in the long term and also in the short term, I guess. But I've been asking myself this question last week when I was not so good a spot. I was weak mentally. I was thinking to myself, what am I doing this all for? If I don't have the connections, what are you grinding for? If you don't have to, if you can't share your success with anyone, if you can't share your progress with anyone, and I can share my progress, but I'm not one to open up too much or share too much of myself or my progress with people, unless it's like about something in particular to work which needs to be discussed. But I would do that with a girlfriend or a wife, and so that is sometimes a thing. But as I said before, it's day and night. Last week I was just in a bad mental state and I would see things very pessimistically, because when you're in that self-pitying, when you're in that bad mental state, everything starts to look a little bit darker. But now everything's bright again, because I've changed my mental state again. But it's somehow easy to do it. But all I did was I said to myself, like, I was in this bad mental state like the whole week, and then at Wednesday I decided, okay, Friday from Friday forward I'm going to live very different again, or not different, back to my roots, I suppose, in low stimulation, just grind and happy attitude and everything. So then Thursday I was still, I was already in my mind resolved, I'm gonna do that, but Thursday was still just high stimulation, indulgence, and just not too great. But already my mind state had shifted, and then when Friday came, it's now Sunday. I just lived that way, and I'm feeling much better now. So obviously you have to resolve, and you have to discipline and philosophy, and your beliefs have to align with this, because otherwise it's impossible. If you just say something, you're gonna do it, but you're not determined enough, you're gonna fall back to the old habits. And I know for me, what's usually has happened over time, I fall back into habits, and then I have to say to myself, okay, I'm gonna do this again, like what happened this last week. But I'm trying to hold on to live eternally in this manner. But I think we all struggle, and we're not perfect, so we'll always fall into some sort of difficulty, adversity, and that's okay. I think as long as we keep going back to the good life and living righteously, as long as we pick ourselves back up, I think then we're fine, because we can be proud of ourselves that we keep trying and not giving up. Because when you give up and when you keep living in despair or self-pity, that's when life will truly become miserable. And so as long as we keep picking ourselves up and keep trying, I think it will be worth it, and I think we can be happy. So that's what I want to discuss today. I hope you learned something or got something from it, and have a great day. See ya.